Round 2 is a go, and our hand is kind of medium, but also could end up being pretty sick, actually, just because we have Wayfinder into Tassiger plus mana for Banishing Light. We are short on black, but that's what the Wayfinder's job is for. So, hopefully our little buddy can do some work. And other than that, our mana's pretty good. Basic Mountain does not bode very well for me, though. And since I want to draw a non-plains mana, I think I'm just going to fetch this plains right now. Obviously, Siege Rhino is a pretty good draw, especially since our opponent led on Basic Mountain. And we'll see where this goes. Okay, Temple of Triumph. Now things are a little more clear. And I'm starting to like this hand a lot, actually. Just need this Wayfinder to hit, and then us to draw another land, and we should be good to go. But Hero's Downfall, a little sketchy. Not really what we need. Could end up being good, certainly, against a Rabblemaster or a Dragon. We just need to find an Urborg, and we just brick completely. So that is kind of horrendous. Now, not too sure about my spot. I'm not sure if I like it anymore. We'll see, though. I mean, obviously, if my top 4 cards weren't land, then my next one should be a land, right? So, should be all right. But yeah, we're in trouble. We're in a lot of trouble. I really needed an Urborg there. Urborg would have been great. Yeah, that's about it. That's a perfect card. Another Wayfinder I would accept. This guy doesn't fail me very often, but when he does, it's generally pretty backbreaking. But, you know, the math is good. I suppose I could, I don't know, could have not fetched on turn 1 and try and draw a different real land, but could also just play like a different land, try and, ooh, he slashed me. That's not good. That's clearing the way for a Rabblemaster. But yeah, could have not fetched to try and draw a different land, but I really need to find a black source, and I think that was my best chance, was to fetch and thin the deck a little bit. But land, please, for this Banishing Light. That'll do. That'll do for now. I'm going to need some help next turn, though. Courser or Urborg are probably my best draws. And if we draw a brick, then we are just not doing anything, and that is not a good place to be. Oh god. Oh, phew. Just 1/1s. Not Rabblors. Ah! That's not what I wanted. I'm about to add that second Urborg. This is ridiculous. I would have also accepted Caryatid, I suppose. This hand had all the makings of something good. Siege, yeah. Dragons might just kill me. But he names Cons, and we draw another stupid Windswept Heath. Not sure what I'm supposed to do with that. He hits Battlefield Forge, and if he plays anything, I am basically super dead. Super dead. No dragon, though, so that's nice. It's a start, I suppose. No nothings? No nothings. Come on. It's a something. So Thoughtseize is dead at this point. Maybe I should not have fetched there because I could still draw Urborg, but yeah, okay. Now we are the deads. I'm going to pass, though. I'm going to see what he flips to Outpost Siege. Might give me a clue as to what version he's playing. Like, right now, it looks like he's Ben S's version. Could certainly be wrong about that. So if we see a dragon, we'll know more, and we just see a land, so not a ton of info. Man, that game went poorly. But it's good. This is a matchup that I actually want to play against, so it all works out. How many glares do we want here? Don't want a ton of reactive cards when I'm on the play. Kind of just want to give them the beatdowns. So I like this. Still have to cut 2. Oh, the Sage should be in here, so we have to cut 3. So we have 11 removal right now. And we have 3 extra cards. I like 1 Glare. I'm not sure if I like these Banishing Lights because he's probably bringing in Erase, but at the same time, I have plenty of other cards that he wants to erase, so it's probably not that big of a deal. I could see not playing the Glare since we're on the play, and probably not going to get too far behind, so that's a reasonable cut. Could also see a Caryatid because we're on the play. And the games in this matchup are a little bit more grindy post-board also. And what else? What else? Hornet Queen is the best. Whisperwood kind of stinks, but is kind of great. And I do want to keep my threat density up just because of how grindy the games get. Hope I don't get mana screwed again. That wasn't very fun at all. That wasn't very pleasant. I feel like I'm supposed to cut some of this top end, but it's, I don't know. In order to make whip good, I need a decent amount of creatures and whatnot, so. I do like the lights to hit his chains and his sieges. Maybe I'm just supposed to cut a Whisperwood. I feel like I have too many cards for Jeskai and White-Red, so that might be an issue. Yeah, Whisperwood dies to just everything, which kind of sucks. But then without it, then my whips aren't great, I don't think. I don't have a ton of fatties. We'll try this, though. We'll see how this goes. If I win somehow and feel like I need another threat, then we can add that in. But right now, we're looking at turn 3 Tastiger. Also with a Hero's Downfall, so that's pretty cool. And I'm not really looking for anything too specific. We kind of have them covered on a lot of bases here. I'll probably go Citadel into Malady on turn 2, so then we have the option to Downfall on 3. Okay. The Doctor is in. Dr. Siegeman Rhinoceros. Banishing Light's got to be good, right? It is the only enchantment so far, so if he's drawn an erase, now we're turning it on, which kind of stinks, but it might end up just getting turned on eventually anyway. But I do like the fact that I have a removal spell for a Chain of the Rocks when I'm probably going to be leaning on these 4/5s to stabilize me. So all in all, probably a pretty good card to put on top. So the plan here is to commune and play Tastiger. Next turn, he's not going to be able to play Rabblemaster, really. I think he's going to want to chain my guy and get it out of the way and maybe play another 2-drop or something. If he does play Rabblemaster, I'll probably just downfall it. Oh, my precious Urborg. I'm so sorry to lose you, but thankfully I don't need you this game. And then just keep the Courser, I suppose. Not the most high-impact card to Tastiger back, but still pretty legitimate. It's my second Courser, so I'd be gaining 2 life a turn, which is not bad. I'm going to stance this thing. It is possible I would prefer to keep a Drown, but I think Courser is going to save me in more spots. If you attack, I'm blocking. That's what's happening. Banana King is not scared of your puny monk. Yeah. Alright, that thing's dead. It's alright. Clear the way for the Rhino. Alternatively, I could just play Courser, but I think that's kind of poor. Although now that I have Hornet Queen, I kind of want to take the shot to hit the extra land. Might be a little bit greedy. Yeah, I didn't think I needed the mana, but now if I play Rhino, and then next turn I play Courser, and I just go like brick on lands, it's kind of unfortunate. But at least now if I play Courser, I have Windswept Teeth to actually get another shot. So I'm going to play Courser now. And I'm not sold on this, but since I hit a land, obviously it was the correct play. That's not true. Don't think like that. Don't do that. I'm loath to even like make sarcastic comments like that, but it did end up working out so far, at least. There's also some merit in, especially since I hit land and I have a land on top. I'm well on track to play Hornet Queen, and if he uses something like a stance or a Chain of the Rocks to kill my Courser, that might clear the way for my Rhino to be okay, which is kind of nice, but using my mana pretty inefficiently there, aside from the fact that I actually hit, but I'm certainly not a favorite to hit. And yeah, he's just going to stoke my thing, which is nice. Rhino couldn't have gotten stoked, but at the same time, this gets him to skip his turn, and I got a free land out of the deal, so I'm not too mad about this. Pretty happy, all things considered, the way it turned out. And hopefully you just can't beat this Hornet Queen, because that is the plan I'm on. Moo. I know it's not really a cow, but it's cow-like. Rhinos and cows are very similar. They both, you know, walk on 4 legs. I think we're in a pretty reasonable spot. Oh, we're in an actively good spot now, I think. Alright. Alright, definitely downfalling that dragon. Alternatively, I could play Whip and just hit him. I don't want to get too messed up by an erase. So we're going to go Forest. Banish his Seeker. Hit him. And I don't think there's anything he can have to stop this downfall. You know, things like God's Willing and Valorous Stance don't work, but I'm not going to mess around with it. I'm killing that dragon no matter what. I don't think they're, like, maybe, yeah, even if he plays Sarkhan, I can just attack Sarkhan down, so. Dragon is definitely the best card that I could kill there. If we draw a land, we have Hornet Queen. If we don't draw a land, get to play Whip and hit him. And if we get to connect with a Lifeling hit, that should be enough, almost certainly, just because we'll be at a high enough life total, and then we should be able to play this Hornet Queen out. Since Whip is not very popular, it's kind of nice that you don't have to worry about things like Hushwing Gryff. I think most people have cut those from their lists, just because there are far more efficient things you can be doing against Siege Rhino than just playing a Hushwing Gryff, especially since everyone is boarding in things like Drown in Sorrow against you and whatnot. Gryff just kind of gets caught up in that, so I would almost prefer it if the Gryff were like a 1/3 flyer. It's nice that it gets to attack and everything, but yeah, maybe for him at 11, Evolving Wilds. It's kind of a dagger, but not really, since we actually drew the Whip, and we get to hit you anyway. And we have 4 black, which is play Whip and activate. I guess our Swamp is gone anyway, so that's not a consideration. Yeah, we just get Forest. I was going to say we have 4 black, which is like Whip activate mana, but maybe I don't get Swamp there anyway. I think once you have 4 black, you're pretty set, because you can do things like Downfall twice, or like activate Whip and Downfall. So now he is struggling. Whip is certainly a difficult card to beat, especially when I have a 4-power guy in play that he can't easily kill. Hornet Queen next turn should seal it up. And I'm not sure about how this game played out. I drew pretty well. I had enough threats. I definitely want the other Caryatid when I'm on the draw. I think I want a Glare as well. And I might, like, Whip might be a little bit too slow, so I might cut a Whip and I might cut the other Whisperwood. Just trim the top end a little bit. So, yeah, in spots like this where you're just waiting for your opponent to make a move, it is somewhat imperative that you actually think about the next few games, because you have a finite amount of time to actually think and whatnot. So, alright, man. Unless you have Anger of the Gods, you are in trouble. Of course, could also find an erase. And that would kind of mess me up a little bit, but I think I can beat him with bees. Oh, I opened the wrong window. I'm so silly. Oh yeah, it's the exile zone. Not the reveal. Alright. This mountains don't match. It's kind of disgusting. That one's not bad. That's the same one. And then these two match. So, oh, he's a little half and half. Yeah, if he has like a race anger, I'm just dead, I'm sure. But if he only has one or the other, I think I'm still okay. Does not want to give up his dragon. Looks like he's going to monstrous it on my draw step. Dealing me 2 damage is probably not the most effective use of your dragon. Or at least your turn. Certainly an effective use of the dragon. Dragon's not doing much else. But I don't want to animate Tasigur, so I'm probably just going to animate Courser. Take a little look-ski, gain some extra life, and then when I can animate Tasigur and use it is probably when I'll do it. Ooh, Necropolis Fiend. So I put this in my deck to block Stormbreath Dragon. Kind of funny that his dragon is monstrous, so I can't really do that, but... Alright, so we're going to hit him. Oh yeah, we want that Courser to get in there too. Oh no, I forgot to play the thing. I should have gained a life. Ah! I'm big stupids. I should be at 16. Hopefully that doesn't matter. We're still gonna keep the Fiend on top. And I'm really dumb. I apologize. Got to talking, just chatting away, not paying attention. Happens. Erase. That's step 1. I no longer have lifelink. Do have that fatty 4/5 flyer on top though, so that's kind of nice. Don't have to delve to cast it if I want to tap the Caryatid, so then I have a shot for -5, which isn't the worst thing ever. Wish I was at a higher life, because I don't have infinite lifelink anymore. Okay. So, what are the ways in which I can lose? Certainly, Seeker getting a lifelink trigger is not going to help my cause, because we're mostly racing at this point since I don't have a lot of other stuff going on. I would not be shocked if he had a removal spell in his hand. I'm just gonna delve one. I don't want to tap this Caryatid. I don't want to have to block with this Fiend if I don't have to. I'd rather chump with Caryatid, put another card in my yard. So I wouldn't be shocked if he had 1 removal spell. If he has 2, that'd be fine. So like, say he goes kill your insect. He has 2 cards left over. They could like both be Stokes or something. That's like the only way I can lose. But I can still block with Fiend. So yeah. So I think keeping 1 back is fine. We hit him for 5, put him at 3, and then even if he gains life off the Seeker, that's not really a big deal. Because we still have lethal with insects. Eventually he's going to have to block with this dragon, I think. This is a Stoke on the Queen. Okay. So now you're hellbent. Your guy is not prowessed on your turn as of yet, although you're certainly favored to hit something, and he hits a Chain of the Rocks. Ah! This is getting bad. Stupid Siege. Maybe I shouldn't have Banishing Lighted that Seeker, but it was like so early. Thought I just wanted to buy time to get to Hornet Queen. Yeah, I don't know. Could certainly use an extra big card, and his Siege is doing pretty well for him. I'm a little jealous. A little jealous he's drawing all these extra cards. If we lose this game, I'm going to be pretty sad because our draw was pretty good. I think the only thing I did wrong was maybe I could have attacked with an extra insect last turn. Not like all 4 this last attack with the attack step before that. But I thought I was safe enough that I didn't want to open myself up to him having 2 removal spells and then hitting me for 7 and then like that kind of spiraling out of control. But I could probably use that point of damage here, although maybe it won't matter since he's going to get the prowess trigger. Probably going to have to trade a B for that. So it just gets worse and worse. So he goes up to 8, and then next turn I attack him for a little bit. If he prowesses it again, like I'm going to have to block then, so I might as well block now. So getting some value out of our Hornet Queen. Oh dear. Oh my. That is a magic card. So we'll offer up the trade Insect for Dragon. He's not going to take it, and we're almost certainly going to downfall this dragon. So he's back down to 5. He's got to know that I've been super careful about not attacking, so he's got to know that I have a removal spell at this point. That's probably not going to be a surprise. Ooh, my little satyr buddy. You brick every time, except for when you don't. Then you're pretty cool, but... Temple? No temple. Gonna hold that citadel in case we draw a courser. And we certainly don't need the land. Go, little insects. Finish him off. Kind of wish I had that extra point. It doesn't look like he has any removal spell. I think he would have used it there because it cuts his clock by a turn. He'd be at 3 life facing 2 bees, and then could presumably like hit any creature to make the Wayfinder pretty bad. So now he's kind of flooding out. He has a Chain to the Rocks, but needs 3 things, and he has 3 cards to work with, so maybe... Might just be dead, though. Maybe we've done it. Hornet Queen defeats Outpost Siege, I hope. Come on. He's thinking, which is probably good for me. But he continues to play on, which might not be good for me. Even if he kills all my stuff, I can still draw a Rhino. That's an out. Oh, another dragon? Okay. Doesn't do it unless you have a burn spell. So we'll take a little look-ski. Land. So even if he kills a bee, blocks the Wayfinder, we still have a bee that he has to trade with. So I think I'm okay sending the Wayfinder here. And yeah. He thought for too long, I think. If he was like a little more confident about it, I might have had to think about it, but... Alright. Carried it in. Whisperwood out. One glare in. See how grindy these matchups are? I kind of just want to put the Soul of Innistrad back in my deck, honestly. It's such a mopey card, but it's like if you mill into it, it's so nice. Fiend was actually okay that game. I do wish that I had the glare, you know, the other thing, the bust up Chain of the Rock, so I could have got my fatty back. Now we have to cut one. I've liked all my cards. Wouldn't mind cutting a Satyr, I guess. A little worried about, you know, not having things for Whip or Cut or Tassiger. Well, Fiends too. Yeah, I'm boarding in Fiend. I can't cut the Wayfinder. I don't want to cut any of these cards. All my cards are too good. Drown actually did not seem great. It seemed like he boarded around Drown, which is interesting, but since he's on the play, he might board the Rabblemaster stuff back in if he brought it out. So I don't really want to take that risk. We could 61 it. That is certainly a viable option. There are cards like Whip of Erebos that we don't want to draw too many of, but we still want 3 in our deck, I think. But I'm more worried about my mana situation if we're at 61 cards. This is really weird. I have too many cards for these decks. So what card am I not supposed to have? Probably one of the removal spells. I do have 11. Cures and Drowns. I need Downfall and Cut for Dragon. Banishing Light is probably the worst one. That's weird. To board in a Glare, board out a Banishing Light, but it just is what it is. Alright, this hand is all mana and a Hornet Queen. But I'm more than willing to keep that hand. And we have Drown in Sorrow. I'm not too interested in scrying. Excuse me, scrying right now. Because I have a bunch of early plays. Grandmaster is nice. That just dies, so that's beautiful. And we have a blocker in Caryatid. We have a Drown in case he plays a Rabblor. And oh god, yes, we're doing it. Thank you, Drown in Sorrow. You are great. Bottom this Caryatid. And bottom this land since we have a bunch of Satyr friends. So things are looking good. We're definitely not out of the woods or anything. Especially since he has a Siege. We have a Whip. Whip's good. And we can go Satyr, Tasigur. Okay, Urborg. That's obviously what I want. Reclamation Sage to the bin. That is not bad. And Forest. I think we just want untapped lands. Although, what am I doing next turn? I'm going to have 6 mana. So unless I draw a 2-drop, I'm going to want this Temple. Alright, fair enough, fair enough. Alright, Land, Citadel, Drown. I don't want those. And I probably don't want this Banishing Light. I guess, or this other Tasigur. Although I do have a Whip, but if my Tasigur dies to a stance, then it'll be in the yard anyway. But if it dies to a Chain of the Rocks, then I won't really have anything to whip. I don't think he has Anger in his deck if he has Grandmaster and Rabblemaster, so yeah, I'll just exile that. And we are pretty far ahead, but he can certainly catch up. So he hits Triumph for this 5th land, so we're not getting Dragon this turn, but he might just take a turn off to stance my Tasigur and play a 2-drop. Which point we're going to have to turtle up with this Whip and play the Temple. If he doesn't kill Tasigur, he's in trouble. I know that much. He's going to chain it. So that's legit. Okay. I'm going to see what I scry into here. That's a Commune. That's not bad. So options here are play Whip, have it potentially get erased, or next turn play Queen, next turn play Whip activate on the following turn to get my Sage and either kill his Siege or free up my Tasigur. But I think I'm just going to want to kill his siege. And the 2 points might not matter, the lifelink. And I think this game might be kind of grindy. I do have a commune, though, which is nice. That's going to be able to find me a pretty good threat, I think. But, yeah, I'm just going to save this whip until I can actually get some value out of it. I feel like he's not doing much, so it's totally within the realm of possibilities that he has an erase. And he hits a Rabble Master, which is also kind of good because he can't play a dragon this turn. If he wants to get value out of his siege and actually play the Rabble Master. And I don't really care about the Rabble Master right now because I have the Wayfinders and I'm going to have a Hornet Queen here. Overall, pretty interesting match so far. I'm definitely liking this. I'm definitely liking how the games are playing out. Not just like my deck versus his, but just in general. I think it's a pretty interesting matchup. He's trying to kill me. He's got a lot of removal for big guys, flyers that are hard to deal with, siege to actually draw cards and like keep up with my engine as well. So games are pretty good. And now he's going pretty deep. I don't know. I feel like if I were in his spot, I would assume that I don't have a whip. I think most people would play it there and try and get the 2 points of lifelink. So now he's got to be thinking, like, what the hell is going on? Like, maybe I can just play a dragon and race him or whatever. But it's also kind of likely that I have a Hornet Queen, although it's not like this is the only type of hand that it's not like this is a hand that I would have kept because it has Hornet Queen. Like, my hand was actually just good on its own also. Because I had the Drought, I had the early Tasigur. So I don't think he can really infer too much. Yeah, he just goes for a dragon, doesn't play the Rabble Master. I'm completely fine with that. And again, like last game, if he angers me, I'm probably going to be in a lot of trouble, but I don't think he has it if he's keeping in all this stuff. So we're going to do some chip shots here, and then hopefully this Hornet Queen just beats him up, especially if he taps out, and I'm able to get hit in with Whip. So he's a Sarkin. That can attack through my bees. I don't mind chumping that a little bit. But I think what's actually going to happen is I'm going to play Whip and get Sage and kill his Siege, and then hopefully I can just grind him out from there. Just like it's a big problem when he's drawing 2 cards a turn. And I don't expect this Whip to live. So I've liked my play so far. Sarkin things get a little complicated, but if I can get in a shot where I gain life, I should be alright. And another option for me this turn is to just block with the Hornet Queen. Just like chump the Sarkin if he goes that route. Actually don't want to play Sarkin because then he gets to leave up in a race. And I could really use this lifelink. So yeah, he animates that thing. I don't know, maybe it's okay. Maybe I can block with Hornet Queen and just make more bees and like beat him that way. I really don't think he has anger in his deck, but if he ever like plays an anger and end hostilities, I might just be sunk. So now I have to decide between the Queen or the Sage. I think Queen is better. It's certainly a little risky. Little risky. I suppose I could also just attack down Sarkin this turn, so that might make things a little easier. We drew a Glare, so that frees up Tasigur. That's not bad. So yeah, I don't mind this. I think we get the Queen back. We attack down Sarkin. think I attack Sarkin with all the 1/1s and then attack him with the queen. Although, if he has a shock instead of an erase, he gets to keep his Sarkin. But if he has that, that means I gain a ton of life. So I think I'm okay with that. So hopefully we don't just slam headfirst into a sweeper. But even if that does happen, I'm not in the worst spot. I'm just worried about that siege. It's a pretty fun game. A lot of good choices to be made. It's about whether or not he hasn't answered all my stuff now. If he doesn't kill Whip this turn or next turn, I will probably guarantee victory. Yeah, it looks like he does have the erase. So Sarkin is dead, but I have an army of bees. And he's still sieging, but again, unless he gets to sweep away all my guys. I guess you could have something like Scouring Sands. They have that in the board for the mirror sometimes. I prefer Arc Lightning myself, but Scouring Sands is certainly a reasonable option as well. And if he or is that non-flyers? It might be non-flyers. I'm gonna look that up. Nope, just each creature I control. Alright, so he's got a bunch of sieges now. Not sure if that's going to help him. Ooh, and another whip. Hello. Was going to commune. I think whip is better. I can kill one of his sieges. A lot of cards showing their worth here. Whip definitely doing a lot of good work. Reclamation Sage. These Hornet Queens that I really want to cut except for this matchup. Caryatid was also fantastic. So it's kind of all coming together. Yeah, he's at 14. If he doesn't kill my whip, I am pretty happy getting this attack in. Because I gain 10 life. And if he does kill my whip, then I kind of want to keep a bee back to make him kill it if he wants to attack me. But either way, he's going to take 8 damage down to 6. So it's going to be a lot of work for him to, you know, kill a bee and then attack me and then still deal with all the other stuff. But yeah, we get to connect with Whip, and now guaranteeing victory. Guaranteeing it. I would be shocked if I lost. Absolutely floored. And this is game 3, right? I'm pretty sure that, yeah, this is game 3. All these games are so long, I just get confused. I'm also getting old. Just kind of like forget where I am, forget what day it is. He is playing some cards that do not match up well against Hornet Queen plus Whip of Erebos. But that's what happens when you get to this stage in the game. Whip deck, if you know, left unanswered, will do some pretty messed up stuff. Basically go over the top of you every time. So yeah, now we just get to clear our opponent's board. Dr. Siegeman Rhinoceros, how do you do? I think it's trivial at this point. I believe that he is dead no matter what I do, and yeah, he's just like, whatever, I'm off it. It's alright, cool. That was a really good match. I really enjoyed that one. 2-0.